this time round I've got like a little, it's actually a paintbrush, as you can see, but I thought I could use it as a pointer. Again, that was another request to maybe use a pointer. So let me have a look and see which page this article starts on. solar system lies in a partial arm, the Orion Spur. In this view, based on infrared images from NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, regions where new stars are forming appear in red. So that's the Sun, the Sagittarius arm, the Norma arm, let's go a bit closer, outer arm, yeah, different arms anyway. Galactic neighbours most of the exoplanets found to date, orbit stars within 400 light years of our solar system, which lies at the centre of the white square left and enlarged at the right. NASA's Kepler satellite is now monitoring stars up to 60,000 light years distant along the Orion Spur in search of Earth-sized planets. Sun-like stars 600 to 1,800 light years away are thought to be the most promising. Okay, let's carry on looking. Star systems. Aside from our Sun, 316 stars are confirmed to host one or more planets. This chart plots 217 of those stars, for which precise positions are known. Their distances are difficult to imagine. For all but the closest, it has taken centuries for their light to reach us. Planets form out of the disk of gas and debris that surrounds a newborn star. Among the various types of stars below, classes O and B are still too young and too hot to be good candidates for Earth-like planets. So down here you've got a little table of the stellar classes, stars with planets, the temperature, the mass. Stars with possible terrestrial planets are Gliese, HD, Gliese 676, HD, oh they've all got numbers, so they've all got, that one's Gliese 541, and these are called HD, with different numbers at the sides. So this now opens up. Look at that. The known planets. How bizarre does that look? By late 2009, the rapidly growing number of exoplanets hit 373, plotted here by their mass and distance from Earth. Most already discovered are larger than Jupiter, which makes them easiest to find. Advances in detection in the first few years have identified 13 small rocky planets close to Earth's size, orbiting sun-like stars in red. So here is Saturn. I think that's Earth. Saturn with its rings. astronomers expect to determine the diameters and masses of transiting planets. If they manage to discover a rocky planet roughly the size of Earth orbiting in the habitable zone, not so close to the star that the planet's water has been baked away, nor so far out that it has been frozen into ice, they will have found what biologists believe could be a promising abode for life. The best hunting grounds may be dwarf stars, smaller than the Sun. Such stars are plentiful. 7 of the 10 stars nearest to Earth are M dwarfs, and they enjoy long, stable careers, providing a steady supply of sunlight to any life-bearing planets that might occupy their habitable zones. Most important for planet hunters, the dimmer the star, the closer in its habitable zone lies. Dim dwarf stars are like small campfires, where campers must sit close to be comfortable, so transit observations will pay off more quickly. A close-in planet also exerts a strong pull on its star, making its presence easier to confirm with the Doppler method. Indeed, the most promising planet yet found, the super-Earth Gliese 581d, 7 times Earth's mass, orbits in the habitable zone of a red dwarf star, only a third the mass of the Sun. Should Earth-like planets be found within the habitable zones of other stars, a dedicated space telescope designed to look for signs of life there might one day take a spectrum of the light coming from each planet and examine it for possible biosignatures such as atmospheric methane, ozone and oxygen, or for the red edge produced when chlorophyll containing photosynthetic plants reflect red light, directly detecting and analysing the planet's own